Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at the Artificial Life Forms challenge for the legendary Goku GT event. So this is, well, I think this is a pretty chilled team to put together. I think Artificial Life Forms would have been a lot harder if the cell had not come out. So the AGL cell basically came out. So what I'm using is I'm actually using a cross between power absorption androids, power absorption and artificial life forms, because obviously Cell doesn't lead the artificial life forms, but he does lead power absorption, and we're using a pretty strong team. So we've got Super 17, the AGL one, on the other rotation. Alongside him we're going to have the Hellfighter 17, the one that EZA'd. Then we have the Cell, the transforming Cell. He's going to be sitting with the second form Cell, so we're going to be pairing him up with the second form Cell. We've got the Int Cell floating around. He's going to be doing some pretty decent business. Like, a lot of people talk about how bad some units have aged. Cell does fine during this event. Like, yes, he takes damage at certain points, of course, but he, generally speaking, does quite alright. So we're going to be using that Cell, and then yeah, that's pretty much it for like the majority of the meat and bones of the team. Obviously, we have the power absorption Boo. So we've got the Margin Power LR Boo, and we've also got the Transforming Boo, and we're going to be linking them up as well. So we have a pretty dope, pretty interesting lineup. We've got second form Cell, as well. So we've got a pretty strong team, I would say. We have a very, very strong team, very good team that can just get the business done, really. This physical Cell, great since his EZA. Apologies, I think I've ruined my target Goku event. This second form Cell is in here, not a Hellfighter 17. So second form Cell, really, really strong unit after his EZA. He's got 120% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then he's got an additional defense of 60% when performing a super attack. Then he gets an additional 60% defense on top of that as well. So he's looking at 384% defense when you have everything all together. And yeah, just overall he's a lot better now. He's got Ki +3 when facing only one enemy, so getting his ultra super attacks not impossible anymore. And yeah, basically we just kind of gonna have him. He's gonna sit around. We've got the Int LR Cell kind of hanging around. We've got the AGL Cell. It's a very Cell friendly lineup. We also have this Boo Tanks. So we've got a pretty strong LR focus, but we've also got just a pretty good team, I think. In general, a really nice team. So in terms of this team, we do have obviously Cell, great unit, AGL1 transforming as he goes along into the perfect form. Obviously a fantastic unit in almost every single one of his forms, and also just very, very strong. Gives crits, gives evasions, does a lot of business. Probably at his weakest early on, which is fine because we're going to have him transform as we go along. But during the whole course of the event, he just does really, really good damage. So yeah, obviously AGL Cell, we'll pair him up with the Strength one for a while, and then we'll probably switch in the physical or the Int one, depending on what stage we are at the event. The Int one will be more than fine to be taking shots from the Tech Goku right at the end, which is why we're using him. We then also got obviously the Super 17. He's just going to float around. Remember, he can get up to 70% damage reduction, which is obviously pretty good. And then he also kind of gives himself a pretty decent attack stat as well. So him floating around, he'll be more than fine defensively. He will take a little bit of damage at the end against Tech Goku, but for the most part, he'll be more than fine. The AGL Cell, going to be fantastic. He's going to be huge. Basically, he's going to have like, an attack and defense of plus 500% against Goku, which is going to be pretty good. Plus, he's going to have that really good crit chance. Yeah, and he's also going to have those additional super attacks, and just, yeah, he's going to do a really awesome job. The physical boot, he does fine. His scariest part is against the strength Great Ape, and we managed to handle that more than fine because we basically clear out the strength Great Ape with perfect cell. So we don't fight the strength Great Ape for a very long period of time, which is generally why we end up having a pretty decent time overall. We're not going to transform the Majin Buu, the Buu tanks at any given time. There's no real need because we can't activate his big bad bosses that he has, and it would just replace Fear and Faith, which is one of our key links anyway. So we're not going to actually do that. We're basically just going to leave him untransformed, but he'll be fine. You know, he does share infinite regeneration. He shares metamorphosis with the Tech Buu, so we do get a little bit of health back. But generally speaking, they have okay links. They don't have crazy links, but they got okay links, so they're going to do more than fine overall. And yeah, that is basically it when it comes to, you know, the events and the team build and everything. Yeah, I think overall the team does really well. I think it's a really solid team build that I think, yeah, can cover a lot of bases. There's not a lot of weak links here, I want to say. The int cell, maybe during the physical phases, is a little bit sketchy. Although I do have 2 dupes in him, so just bear that in mind, that he handles everything fine, but he does have 2 dupes in him. The physical cell also more than fine the whole way through. Probably underutilized. I mean, I probably could have used him alongside the AGL cell, but at that stage I was facing, the physical Goku. The tech Goku. Yeah, to be honest, I think one thing I would like to change about this run is I actually would have liked to have got Incel to transform. If I had been able to get Incel to transform at some point, that would have been really good, and I think would have helped out a lot, because like Incel, he's very, like, he's good, but he does benefit from fighting a lot of units. So, if we'd got him to transform, he would have actually been a bit better off overall. Because when he transforms, he obviously then gains all those benefits from orbs, which I think is really strong. So it is something we probably wanted to do. It's something you can actually intentionally do. Basically, just kind of put a unit that would usually take a bit more damage in the way, and you should be able to get him to transform. That would have been great, just because he is, like, genuinely better. He has a max boost of 208% defense in his second phase, whereas he only has a max boost of 160% in his first phase. So it is a noticeable additional amount of defense, and obviously the full health recovery, but mainly the additional amount of defense really helps out with how he would have tanked. But overall he did fine anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, we're obviously going to clear out the Ape Goku, so the Strength Ape Goku. We're going to clear him out with the Dokkan attack. That's going to help us out a lot. We're basically going to one-turn him, which, is pretty good, I would say, to one-turn him pretty much. And that's going to obviously push us then into the Int Goku phase, and we're going to skip ahead from there. So we're going to enter the Int Goku phase, then we're going to skip ahead and we will tackle the final turn. But yeah, overall, team ran perfectly fine. If you are looking at running this team and you're looking for substitution options, maybe you don't have all of these units, maybe you don't have necessary dupes in these units. If you are looking for substitution options, then generally speaking, there are very few, but some pretty decent ones, I want to say. So the Janemba, he's okay. The Ultimate Evil and Hatred Baby Janemba, he's okay up until a certain point, but he is pretty decent and can do a decent job for you. Very similar, the Majin Buu Kid. Both of these fusion units are pretty solid overall. I actually think they do a pretty decent job, so you can definitely run them if you want to, and you should see a pretty decent result. Honestly speaking, the tech Android 17 did not do as well as I wanted him to at all. I did try him out before. I think he's okay. You do need a dupe or two in him though, I think personally, to make him really run as nicely as I think you kind of anticipate him running. I think that's a good bet. The Android 16, also a pretty solid choice. I didn't use him because I obviously don't have Cell as a lead, but Android 16 is pretty decent. He's obviously got that ability to guard all types and reduce that damage, which is pretty good. 60% damage reduction, and he automatically guards when facing 3 or more enemies, which doesn't really matter, but also when all allies attacking in the same turn are Android Cell Saga characters. So you kind of want to build your team that way if you are looking to make him work, but that shouldn't be too hard. You can kind of achieve that, and you might see that for my target Goku run. You can kind of achieve that, so it's not really too impossible, I would say. But as you can see, we finished off Tech Goku with a huge crit from Cell, which is pretty cool. The final phase went fine. Cell does a huge amount of damage because he crits, and everything generally goes pretty well. We use the Incel as well in the first slot, so the AGL Cell just does huge damage in the second slot. The Boo rotation tanks fine, and everyone else is more than fine while floating. So yeah, team worked pretty well. Took a little bit of time, 21 minutes, but I was busy making tea during it, so I wouldn't say that is the standard time. You could probably get a lot faster. Oh, and take double AGL cell leads if you can. It is way preferred for a lot of these challenges. But yeah, that is pretty much it from me, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like or leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care and bye.